are here in Panorama Festival, and tonight we're going to present our piece Black Swan. This is the last date of a tour. We've been to Valparaiso in Chile, Belo Horizonte, Fiji, Santos, and now Panorama. Well, the piece we're going to present is Black Swan. It's a piece with 4 dancers. It was created in May in Annecy, so it's still quite fresh. What can I say about the piece? Well, I think it is a piece that doesn't have like a specific meaning. It's more about sensation, and it has this kind of dreamlike logic. It's like when you dream and on the next day you want to explain your dream, and it just fades away at the moment you want to explain it. So there's this kind of illogical logic, and that's what I like. I think then you get drawn into the piece with these images coming one after another. Obviously the piece is much more tight, and it's better dance, it's better balance. We've been doing it a lot. We went to Japan as well, so we've been traveling a lot with this piece, and it's just amazing to see it, happening in so many different stages and different places. I think it's good when pieces are, being played quite a lot. You can really see them improve. So hopefully it's going to be fine today. But in Japan, for instance, that's where we got a response that was people are very laughing a lot and very participative in the piece. I think somehow they felt very connected. There is some elements in the piece that are taken from the theater Japanese tradition. Like we have this character that is sustaining the dancer, and he's like a live technician, a stage assistant, and in Japan, those characters they are part of the theater, of the system of the theater. So there is like first the curtains. When we disappear behind the curtains, then we disappear, and we don't imagine the person behind the curtain. And I think for the Japanese, those characters, they don't exist. They don't look at them on stage. They're just a normal theatrical convention. Of course, the fact that we are traveling so much, we meet a lot of different culture, even though that we always spend not so much time in the cities where we are going, but there are like relationship, with other artists. We get to see other work, and of course there is influence. It's just like I get influenced by life and what I see, on the daily basis. And of course I see things here or in Japan, or every place I go there's always some elements, but mainly it makes me think about humanity, and how human we all are the same, but we just live in very different conditions. We were in Mali in Africa, and of course the situation there is very difficult. There's a very poor country. There's about 80% of analphabetism. So, of course, it's a very different situation, but what is amazing is to see that there is like some really places that are not, you wouldn't think that there is contemporary dance, and there's a very strong activity in contemporary dance. Yeah. And in Brazil, there is like really crazy places where people do contemporary dance, and you just like, you say, wow. And so it's very interesting. And also one thing that I see in some countries is that and it is, I think, is very important, is that for some people, for some dancers, to take part in the dance scene is a way to grow socially. I mean, they learn a lot of things. You know, they learn to, they meet with foreigners, they start to travel, they start socially, they get to a better position because they get more work. They get a broader vision because, you know, when you close in a society, then you don't see very far, and the more you open, the more you travel. So this is something that sometimes in Europe we don't really realize. There is this kind of tendency to think that when you choose to take an artistic career, then you go down. I don't think it's true, because it's a real choice for us. We probably would have different opportunities. So it's not about the cash in your pocket, but it's more about, you know, just culture in general and education. And in some places, like in Mali, for instance, you really see that it's a very important movement. Definitely, well, for me, it's one of the best festivals in the world, you know. And you know, the work that Eduardo Benito and Naisi are doing is just, you know, is amazing. I think there's really a very good ambience and a lot of professionalism. Conditions are difficult a little bit here, but I mean, now they're really, you know, really good. And I've been following a little bit this, sometimes from far and sometimes from close. I think we've been, this is the second or third time we come to Panorama. So yeah, I mean, it's great. It's really happening, and also with their own specificity. You know, it's not the copycat of a European festival or American festival. I think they really have their own way to develop audiences and to work with different different part of the society, public development. Also very supportive now of the local scene. I mean, the Brazilian scene. So they're really part of a very important part of the development of dance here in Brazil, but also in the world. For this year, we still have Paris in Théâtre de la Ville and hometown Geneva. So we've been touring a lot, going back to Geneva. That's going to be nice, a bit colder. But yeah, we still have a few dates before the end of the year, and hopefully we'll continue next year.
Porque a casa dele é pra lá.